And what's going on, guys? Kale here, coming at you with another video. Those of you new to the channel, I am an endgame player with 3 accounts, all in the endgame. 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, kind of ranging in TCP from 18.5, I think I'm actually 18.5 million, 18 mil down to about 10 million. Actually, I'm almost 19 million. So anyway, with that being said, this is going to be a war-focused video. Everyone's favorite game mode, said no one, at least with me anyway. Not a big fan of war, just because the way the gaming system seems to kind of work is pretty much wars are pre-decided. So you'll go into a war and you have a 50-50 chance of winning or losing. Typically, if you win 2 or 3 wars in a row, let's just say, your 4th war opponent is going to be like astronomically stronger than you, and it's going to be a washout, and vice versa. Like sometimes you'll lose 2 or 3 wars in a row, and then your next one will be like stupid easy. So that's why I don't place too much stock in a game mode that is just so 50-50. The other thing is rewards are pretty much comparable. Whether you win or lose, you are pretty much getting the same rewards, and that just kind of goes to show Scopely doesn't even really kind of consider this a worthwhile game mode, I guess. If you look over here, let's see. So my alliance is Platinum 2, and so if you look over here, if you win, you're getting 375k gold. If you lose, you get 225. So, not much of a difference. It's a difference of, 150k, which is really nothing as far as gold goes. Your war credits, it's a difference of, 500, just about. So again, really not much of a big deal. Your elite credits, difference of about 300. Your, basic catalysts over here, your ABCs, I don't even use these anymore. As you can kind of clearly see, I've got almost 20,000 of these. So these don't matter at all. And then T4s are exactly the same, which is probably the most important resource, this and the war credits. But again, really not too much of a difference whether you win or lose. So you do get 36 of these per attack of enemy that you kill. And this just kind of, it scales as you go up. But again, not that big of a deal. So anyway, let's talk about the alliance strategy on how we kind of coordinate our attacks and kind of just what the overall strategy is. And of course that would happen. Alright, I will be right back, y'all. Alright, y'all, we are back in game. Let's see if we can actually load up the war without it causing the game to crash. In all fairness, the game should actually be going down for maintenance probably in about 10 minutes or so. So, that might have been kind of what caused that, or it just might have been normal MSF kind of stuff. So anyway, let's get we're currently in a war battle. And I just want to kind of talk about the overall strategy of how the Alliance chooses to go after rooms, what rooms to mark, why do we go after this room first, why don't we go after this room, etc. So, general kind of strategy is you kind of open up the most rooms if you go down the middle. And basically the way the rooms open is as you clear a room, if it'll let me click, so we cleared this side over here, and when you clear a side of a room, it will automatically open the room underneath it. So by going down the middle, you can kind of probe their defense and kind of see, what's going on as far as, what do their rooms look like, kind of get a rough idea of what their setup is. However, as we're going down these rooms, when we come across global rooms will always be the priority. And why is that? So, hypothetically, let's say the hangar was where the reactor is. And if you click on the hangar over here, you'll look, and this room, while it is fully active, it is going to give 10% primary stats to all attacking war-ready allies, and it's going to apply deflect to all attacking allies. So basically what this is this adds a stat boost to all of our opponent's offense. And by clearing this room, our opponent is going to lose that 10% stat boost as well as that deflect boost. So global buffs are really kind of designed to basically either fortify your offense or defense depending on the buff. And that's why it's kind of important to get rid of those global rooms first. So as global rooms do become unlocked, the general goal will be to full clear that global room. The exception, stuff might happen where a global room might have some really, really strong defense, and we might need to probe a little, elsewhere. But generally, when a global room is unlocked, it will be double marked. And again, basically, the way war works is the first person, or the first team, I guess I should say, that clears all the global buffs is typically going to be the team that wins. This obviously doesn't apply for like the sweaty, try-hard war people that go for like full clears, but for us normal mortals that are just kind of going for a win or a loss and, not full clears, basically if you can clear all the global buffs, you are going to typically win the war, most of the time. So we go down the middle, we look for global rooms, we clear global rooms. Now, the reason we're hoping that global rooms are going to be in the middle is if you full clear a room, so take over here, this is the armory. So again, it's one of those things where it is giving a boost to our enemies, so it actually gives them a 20% primary stat to all of attacking allies. So basically when our opponent is attacking, with the combination of the armory and the hanger up, our opponent is actually getting a 30% stat boost, which is a lot. Which is sometimes why you'll notice, like, when you're, let's just say if I was going to go attack this person, but depending on what rooms are still up on your side, your teams might be buffed a little higher than what they normally are. So like if you're looking at my teams over here, let's scroll up to the top. My Infinity Watch is in the 1 million mark, as is my kind of Secret Avengers. And on a normal, thing, my team is not that strong. They're around the 900 mark, where, granted, it still is a higher power. But they're not that high. So what that shows me is that we still have some of our global rooms available. So I'm just going to go over here real quick and basically pull up that same little thing. And you can see right over here. So actually my Infinity Watch is only 875k, and with the global buffs, they were over 1 million. So that's why it's so important to get rid of those global rooms first, because, right off the bat, it's almost like neutering 200k of attack power from the enemy. And that's why kind of who takes out the global buffs first is typically kind of who decides who wins the war. So Hangar and Armory are very big, kind of like top priorities as far as global rooms go. Let's see what else we've actually cleared. Okay, that's security. We'll talk about that in a second. Cargo Bay. So this is another one. So this is more of a defensive global buff. So this is actually going to boost the defense of our enemies by 20%. So taking out rooms like this can make clearing harder rooms a little bit easier, because our enemy is going to lose 20% of those stat boosts. And the last one, which I believe is a defensive one too, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be Med Bay. And this one gives them 40% max health. So by clearing this room, it kind of really neuters our enemy's defensive health. So that's why these global rooms are so important. And, it kind of goes either way. You can neuter both their offense or their defense, just kind of depending on what becomes available. But those are the key priorities. So, say we had kind of gotten to this full section and not seen any global rooms, which technically we didn't until we got down to Armory. You've got rooms like this. When you get towards the bottom, this probably wouldn't have been my first choice to full clear, but it is what it is. A full clear still doesn't, bother too much. By full clearing a room, it does unlock the adjacent rooms. So by clearing security over here, we were able to unlock this room and the bridge. So that's why going down the middle is so important. Now, once we have gotten rid of the global buffs or all the global buffed rooms we are able to manage, then we move on to the bigger targets, such as the bridge, which goes without saying, it's a 200-point room. This is always a high priority once global buffs are down. And then the secondary one, almost as much points, but the reactor, so 100 points. Now, once these two rooms are down and hypothetically, the global rooms are down as well, we then just basically start picking easy targets. And sometimes, especially with the state of the game currently, you might run into rooms that are full shield. And typically, we will save these rooms for kind of a quick set of easy points. So if you were to full clear this right here, we would get 50 points for clearing this actual section, and then we get another bonus 50 points. So this would be a quick, easy 100 points. So if we find ourselves towards the end of the war, we might, if we need 100 points, we might clear this room. Next, we just kind of look at, easy rooms. So typically, in general, a lot of the times flight decks are going to be some of the easier rooms. So we might go towards flight decks. We might go for kind of just the single, rooms that only have like a single side left because we were kind of probing. So, we might, we don't really have one currently, but let's just say hypothetically, whatever room is here, we only cleared one side, and the other side was still showing. That might be kind of a secondary target. So yeah, I think that's just kind of a quick little rundown of kind of the, how we're going about war. Just to kind of recap, we kind of go down the middle just to probe the defense. As we're going down the middle, if we do see global rooms, we definitely want to target those first, as that is really going to slow down our opponent. Once we've gone down the middle, and again, hypothetically, if there are no global rooms, we can basically just pick a room and full clear it, probably the easiest amongst it, and then kind of see what opens on either side. So again, looking for global rooms, and once all the global rooms are taken care of, we then go after the bridge and the reactor, and then we just kind of go through cleanup. So we'll pick off easy targets, rooms that'll give us easy points, etc. So hopefully y'all found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week. Happy patch day, and take it easy.